to college football, back to Athens, and back between the hedges go the Dogs. They're welcoming Texas A&M. These two locking up for the first time since the Aggies joined the conference. Last time they actually met was the 2009 Independence Bowl. Georgia won that. Last time they met in Athens, Georgia won that and then won the national title. It was 1980. Nicole wasn't even born. To put it lightly, Jake Fromm can play better than he has of late. He's completed just 46% of his passes over the last 2 weeks. His opponent today, Texas A&M, they've actually allowed opponents to complete just 54% of their passes this season, second lowest rate in the SEC.
Good morning, David Pollack joining us now live from Columbus. We'll get to that in just a minute. But first, what Randolph was just talking about, because we are just 2 weeks away from the SEC title game. Where do you need to see improvement from Georgia, and where does it need to happen today?
Well, you know, Georgia's been an interesting team since the bad game at South Carolina. Jake Fromm obviously didn't play his best game. Since that point, he hasn't thrown an interception. But they've done a good job with the play-action passing game and making big plays. It's just got to be more consistent. And that guy right there, George Pickens, is starting to come on. How about another guy in Blaylock a week ago that catches a touchdown pass? He's a true freshman. So if you're going to run the football as effectively as Georgia does consistently, those shots down the field are going to be backbreakers, are going to be killers. Listen, Kirby is a defensive coach, so he's not going to let them play pitch and catch the whole game. But when they take shots, if they keep being effective with those shots, they can beat anybody in the country.
Oh, I heard that chant, guys. I hear those thoughts on Georgia from the Buckeye fans behind you there. It's time now for your dude of the week. Who is it?
It's an Ohio State guy, so they'll be excited, but it's Mr. Jeffrey Okudah. If you're watching cornerbacks, I don't put many quarterbacks on this list. You better be a bad man. You better be able to tackle like that right there, come up and make hits. But the man-to-man coverage on the outside, he's one of the best movers in college football, making big plays. Today, I would be so jacked up, Nicole, if we get number one versus number one, KJ Hamler, put him in the slot and say speed versus speed, freakazoid athlete versus freakazoid athlete. That would be awesome. But Mr. Okudah's been a dude, and whoever he's been covering all year long has not.
No one describes an athlete better than David Pollack. Look, Columbus is just getting warmed up. Game day coming your way, 9 a.m. Eastern right here on ESPN. Thanks, David.
Still ahead, just why is Ohio State such a big favorite today over Penn State? College Game Day's Chris Felica going to take us inside the numbers, tell you why Vegas is so in love with the Buckeyes. See if you are too. Plus a historic new low for the Spurs under Greg Popovich. Hear the colorful head coach tell you why he doesn't care how well the Sixers are playing.
Big game on your TV tonight, 7:30 Eastern. It's the Ducks and it's the Sun Devils from Tempe. The Sun Devils have lost 4 straight. The Ducks have won 9. One of those is going to end.
All right. Well, Boston's waking up a little relief this morning after a Celtic scare in Denver. Kemba Walker stretchered off the court after a collision with teammate Semi Ojeleye late in the second quarter. He hit his head. Team said he was diagnosed with concussion-like symptoms, taken to an area hospital for further evaluation. He's been released. ESPN's Andrew Wojnarowski reporting early indications are it was not a significant injury. Did join the team on the flight back to Boston.
I saw him in the ambulance at halftime that took him to the hospital, and he had his wherewithal and in pretty decent spirits, which was good. But you know, the head injury thing is super scary, and so you know, you're always thinking about it.
I don't want everyone to be a part of that. Anybody getting injured, especially your teammate. So I just pray he gets back as fast as possible.
He's a leader. He's probably the smallest dude on the floor every time he step out, but probably got the biggest heart. So we definitely lean on him, and we'll welcome him back when he rests up and everything is taken care of. But right now, it's probably best for him to get a little bit of rest.
And needless to say, Kemba on the court is a huge thing for the Celtics. Massive in their hot start to the season. According to Elias, 21.1 points per game for Walker, the most through a player's first 15 games with the Celtics ever. All right, so as for the game itself, 34 points in the first half for Boston, fewest and a half this season. Nuggets have won 3 straight against him. We're in the third at 64-47, and Big Honey just getting buckets. Nikola Jokic, triple-double, 18, 16, and 10. Michael Malone, Nuggets head coach, said post-game, every night he's a triple-double candidate. So he said it post-game, so it was post-Malone. Brad Wanamaker for the C's, though, and suddenly Boston climbs back in this thing. A massive run. What are the numbers? Glad you asked. We got it. 29-11 is the run over a 10-minute, 17-second span, cutting this deficit to just 1. The Wanamaker layup made it 10-1 to cap the run. Jamal Murray, though, to Paul Millsap. These two were just a problem for Boston in the fourth. Millsap would hit the free throw. Nuggets by 4. Murray now, step back. He had 22. There were Nuggets fans. There were a lot of Celtics fans. I don't know. He was feeling it. He was doing the bull dance, feeling the flow. Circular. Millsap corner. Little rim, more net. Oh, another shimmy. There's shimmies everywhere. And then later, Dad bod God handing off to Murray. That might be your dagger. Shout out Steve Buckhantz. 8 in the last 2 minutes and 39 seconds for Murray of his 22 as the Nuggets win 96-92. We are not done with the storylines coming out of this game because late in that Celtics loss, Boston's Marcus Smart got into it with a fan sitting near courtside. According to the Celtics guard, the fan said, quote, "That's right, stay on the ground, get on your knees," close quote. So Smart said, he replied, "Listen, just watch the game. Because if we retaliate to you guys or we were on the street, you probably wouldn't say that. I guarantee you wouldn't say that." Smart explained that his foot actually got stuck in a chair. That's why he was down. That's what took so long for him to get up. Here's Smart on what happened next.
Were you satisfied with the security response?
Not at all. Not at all. You know, I told them who it was. They just looked at him and didn't even say anything to him. Didn't even get him out the game. Probably if I was a superstar, they probably would have did something for it. But it is what it is. Like I said, you know, we're going to end up protecting ourselves eventually, and it's not going to be pretty for those fans. And we don't want that. The league doesn't want that. We don't want that as players. But at some point, you got to stand up and you got to protect yourself as a man.
Of course, Smart has been involved with a fan incident in college. It was 2014. Now, one more Celtics note, maybe Celtics adjacent, because Kyrie Irving will not play in Boston this week. Former Celt, current Net, is going to miss the next 3 games, battling a shoulder injury. It includes his first game back in Boston, was supposed to be on Wednesday.
A lot happening in that whole series here. Luka Doncic and the Mavs trying to keep their names in the headlines as well, taking on the Cavs. Dirk Nowitzki taking in his first game as a fan post-returement. He may have hinted that he was going to be there because he tweeted about the traffic near the arena as he was driving on in. Early third quarter, Mavericks up 29. Doncic, Luka! That's a 3. It's now a 32-point game. Doncic to Kristaps Porzingis for the dunk, who says, and I quote, "I'm here to make this franchise better. I'm trying to do my part. I'm sure Luka is too. He's doing it quite well." You think? He was wearing 2 humans. Just draped in them. Mavericks up 32. Porzingis went 6 for 6 with 15 points in the third. He finished with 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Then with about 1:09 left in the third, Mavericks now up 104-68. So it was a squeaker. Doncic right past Kevin Porter Jr. and 1. 30 points, 14 assists, 7 rebounds in 28 minutes. Seems a little gaudy. Mavs win at 143-101. Up next, we get to see Mavs and the Rockets. But first, did you know that Doncic is the first player in NBA history with back-to-back 30-point, 10-assist games while playing fewer than 30 minutes in each of those games? He's had it in back-to-back games. He's now the only player with more than one of those games in a single season for forever.